What's up YouTube, Biz Matthew here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to tell the seller that you are wholesaling or that you are a wholesaler. Before we go on, be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on post notification bell and comment down below. Now, before we go on, number one, please comment down below on your approach when telling the seller that you are either wholesaling, or do you even say anything about that at all? Do you say, I just have a partner, or just say, I'm going to buy your house? What is your approach when talking to the seller about assigning a property? And number two, like this video. Now, I'm trying to grow this channel, and that just shows so much support to this channel and helps the YouTube algorithm so this channel can become more discoverable so we can grow as a family. And then number three, let me know if you all like this shirt or not. I know I've been wearing the white one with the black font, just business with a Z because of Biz Matthew. And if you all like this, I'll probably put out a website so you all can support this channel even more. So how do you all tell the seller that you are essentially not buying their house, but just assigning it? Now, I know I'm being really obvious right now and upfront with you all, but you all most likely don't say that to the seller. So when I first started wholesaling last year, I always heard the approach to never tell the seller anything about you assigning the property, wholesaling it, other things like that. You can mention possibly that you have a potential partner in this deal, but other than that, never tell the seller anything about that. And that's how I actually went about my wholesaling business in the beginning. Actually, my first wholesale deal, I came to the approach saying, hey, I'm going to buy your house. I'm going to close on this date. And I was just guaranteeing the seller all of these guarantees. And it did put pressure on me and to perform, which I actually did close on that deal. But eventually, after different weeks of me trying to actually find a buyer for the deal, I got approached by the seller asking me, I thought you were going to buy my property. Who are these people looking at my property? Are you a realtor? You say you're going to buy, you say you're going to close on this date. And I felt some frustration from the seller and a little bit of him, honestly being upset with me, which is rightly so, because I was saying that I was going to buy his house when I actually didn't. I was just assigning the property. And after that, I still used that approach, and I got it confronted with the seller again. And I started listening to this other podcast, to this video, and they're just saying, try to be brutally honest with the seller. Try to not chase a deal, right? And try to eliminate yourself from the seller, right? And I noticed, especially in the beginning of our wholesaling journey, it's good to try out different techniques, right? Try being brutally honest. Say, hey, I'm wholesaling, and see how a seller reacts. Maybe they will know what wholesaling means or whatnot. And that's the approach I started taking within my past few deals, just being 100% upfront and brutally honest with them. Now, what I say personally, I don't say that I'm wholesaling or that I'm a wholesaler or that I'm assigning the property, and it's only because they don't understand those terms in real estate. In the real estate niche, right? People understand wholesaling as in manufacturing and other things like that, but in real estate, they don't understand it. If they did, I would use those words. And so this is basically how I phrase it. So when I'm either on the phone with the seller or with a seller in person, I say, hey, I work with a group of investors and flippers around the area. You see them working on houses down the street down there. Yeah, I represent them. I'm working with them. And if we make an agreement today, that gives me the opportunity to show them this property to see if it's a deal for them. If the numbers work out and everything looks good to them, they like this area, they like this property, then we'll close on this property within 30 days. And then I go down the list of the benefits of wholesaling, no closing costs, we buy as is, a very smooth transaction. And then I let them know also, hey, if it's not a deal for them, if we don't lock it up at a decent price, then I'll let you know, right? I'll be upfront with you. And I noticed by saying those phrases, it opens up so much trust within me and the seller, because they know what I'm doing. And then first of all, I do look young, and a lot of people don't think I have cash to buy their property, which I don't. But when they understand that I'm working with investors and different flippers around the area, they open up, they understand it more. They're like, okay, let me try this young guy out. Let me see what he can do. Let me see how he can perform. And that's basically the approach I have within this business. And I noticed by just saying the things that I feel like I shouldn't say, and just saying it actually works a lot. And it helps me to better understand how to talk to sellers in general, especially in the beginning stages. You need to experiment. If I say this, how will they react? And if you lose the deal, okay, no matter, it's fine, because you can learn from that and know not to say something or to say something to your next seller. Especially in the beginning, you all make as much mistakes as you can. And that's why I've been learning. So yeah, just let me know down below, because I know of some people who, they say, I'm buying your house, but they don't perform. You're losing that guarantee in actually closing the deal. Because how would you feel? Put yourself in the seller's shoes. If someone comes to you and say, I'm going to buy your house, and you sign a paper, you sign a contract, and they're nowhere to be found, and you have people walking through your house, and you're all like, what in the world is happening? So really put yourself in the seller's shoes and see how you would want an investor to talk to you and be upfront with you. And I noticed by being transparent, I'm creating that trust and that rapport with the seller, which is number one in this business, right? And then another thing is that when you're wholesaling and you're trying to sign a property, sometimes you don't close. And then when you're coming to the approach like, I'm buying it, you're not guaranteeing. You're saying you're guaranteeing to buy their property, but then you don't. And when I phrase that I'm wholesaling, that I work with investors, to a certain degree, I'm not guaranteeing that I'm buying their property. So if I don't buy the property, I don't burn any bridges, right? They understand, because I told them up front, hey, we may not close if the numbers don't work out for us, and things like that. And so I think in the beginning stages, that's good not to have that guarantee, because you're not going to close on every deal. But when you build more capital, when you actually have the funds to buy a property, if you lock it up at a good price, if you don't find a buyer, you can close it yourself, you can flip it yourself, or do whatever you can with the property yourself. So I hope you all truly enjoyed this video. Just comment down below on what your approach is and how you all phrase things. And be sure to like this video and subscribe. All right, catch you all in the next one.